Hello everyone, welcome back to Russian Oligarch. Today, we have some intriguing news about Russian billionaire Mikhail Fridman. Let's dive right in. Russian billionaire Mikhail Fridman, founder and main shareholder of Alpha Group, which includes Russia's largest private bank, moved to Israel a week before Hamas militants began their attack on the country. He had previously been living in London, but due to sanctions imposed by the European Union and the UK after Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, he found it impossible to live there. However, just a week after his move to Israel, Hamas militants began their attack on the country. This prompted Fridman to flee to Moscow. He stated, "A week ago I moved to Israel. Now I've flown to Moscow because of the current situation." When asked about Fridman's abrupt return to Russia, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said he doesn't see anything odd about the oligarch's decision to come back to his home country. Now let's move closer to Mikhail Fridman. So who is exactly Fridman? Mikhail Maritovich Fridman is a Ukrainian-born Russian-Israeli billionaire and oligarch, born on April 21, 1964. He is known as one of the co-founders of Alpha Group, a large multinational Russian conglomerate. In 1991, he co-founded Alpha Bank, which became one of Russia's largest private banks. After serving as the CEO of TNKBP, a 50-50 joint venture, for 9 years, Fridman sold his stake in 2013 and co-founded Letter1, L1, an international investment company. Fridman held various positions on the boards of Alpha Group Consortium, Alpha Bank, and ABH Holdings. He also served on the supervisory boards of VEON, formerly Vimpelcom, and X5 Retail Group, and was a member of the supervisory board of DEA Deutsche Erdöl AG, owned by Letter1. He was associated with several public-facing bodies, including the Russian Union of Industrialists and Entrepreneurs, the Public Chamber of Russia, and the Council on Foreign Relations. In 2022, Fridman faced sanctions from the EU in response to the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. He contested the allegations and stepped down from the boards of Letter1 and Alpha Group to avoid sanctions. Additionally, he filed lawsuits challenging these sanctions in July and December 2022. In December 2022, a man reported to be Fridman was arrested in London on charges of money laundering, conspiracy to defraud the Home Office, and conspiracy to commit perjury. The investigation by the UK National Crime Agency was later scaled back, and in September 2023, the investigation was closed. Born in 1964 in Lviv, Ukrainian SSR, USSR, Fridman spent his youth there, graduating from high school in 1980. He claims he faced discrimination due to his Jewish heritage when attempting to enter Moscow's top physics college. Consequently, he attended the Moscow Institute of Steel and Alloys. While a student in Moscow, he took on various jobs, such as window washing and co-founding a student discotheque named Strawberry Fields. He also organized a group of students to queue for popular Moscow plays, using the tickets as a form of currency for bartering. Fridman eventually graduated with distinction in metallurgical engineering from the Moscow Institute of Steel and Alloys in 1986. Mikhail Fridman's career in the business world can be traced back to the late 1980s when the Soviet economy began to open up. In 1988, he and his friends from college established various businesses, including a window washing business, an apartment rental agency for foreigners, a company selling used computers, and a company that imported cigarettes and perfumes. This entrepreneurial spirit laid the foundation for his future success. In 1988, Fridman, along with German Khan and Alexei Kuzmichev, co-founded Alpha Photo, a company that imported photography chemicals. The following year, they founded Alpha Eco, a commodities and oil trading firm, as well as Alpha Capital, an investment firm. These early ventures eventually evolved into the Alpha Group Consortium, which became one of Russia's largest privately owned financial industrial conglomerates. The group expanded its interests into industries such as telecommunications, banking, retail, and oil. In January 1991, Fridman co-founded Alpha Bank by using $100,000 of his profits from his businesses. Alpha Bank went on to become one of the largest private banks in Russia, contributing to the growth and success of Alpha Group. The group also expanded into other sectors, including Razvodokhanal, a private water utility, Alpha Strakovany, a diversified insurance company, A1 Group, an investment company, and X5 Retail Group, a major food retailer chain. One of the pivotal moments in Alpha Group's history was the recruitment of Petr Avin, the former Minister of Foreign Economic Relations for the Russian Federation. Avin's involvement further solidified the group's position in the Russian business landscape. By late 1996, Alpha Group, and specifically Alpha Bank, played a significant role in Russian politics and economics, with key members supporting Boris Yeltsin's 1996 re-election campaign. During the 1998 Russian financial crisis, Alpha Bank used its holdings related to TNK, Tyumen Oil Company, to avoid a debt default, demonstrating the group's resilience in challenging economic conditions. Fridman's business ventures also extended into the retail sector. In 1995, Alpha Group founded the Perekrestik supermarket chain in Moscow, later merging with the Pyatyraka supermarket chain to establish the X5 retail group in 2006. X5 became Russia's largest food retailer in terms of sales. Alpha Group's interests expanded into the telecommunications sector, with the acquisition of stakes in various companies, including Golden Telecom and Vimpelcom. These holdings were consolidated into Alpha Telecom and later renamed Altimo. However, conflicts with Telenor over control of Vimpelcom lasted for several years. In the energy sector, Fridman's involvement with TNK-BP was notable. After purchasing TNK, Alpha Group collaborated with BP to create the TNK-BP joint venture. TNK-BP became one of the largest private oil companies globally. Fridman served as chairman and CEO of TNK-BP for several years, and its eventual sale to Rosneft in 2013 was a significant financial transaction. After the sale of TNK-BP, Fridman, along with his Alpha Group partners, established Letter One, L1, in 2013. Letter One was created to invest in international projects across various sectors, including energy, telecoms, finance, and technology. A notable venture was L1 Energy, which focused on undervalued international oil and gas assets. In 2015, L1 Energy acquired DEA from RWE, a major oil and gas company, which brought substantial assets in the British North Sea. This acquisition faced opposition due to concerns about potential sanctions against Russian companies, forcing Fridman to eventually sell these assets to Ineos. Fridman's business interests also extended to technology investments, including a stake in Uber and investments in telecommunications startup FreedomPop. In response to the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, the European Union imposed sanctions on Mikhail Fridman, blacklisting him and freezing all his assets. Fridman expressed concerns over the conflict, stating that it would harm the historically close relationship between the two nations and called for an end to the bloodshed. In October 2022, Fridman made an offer to transfer $1 billion of his personal wealth into the Ukrainian Sense Bank, which he co-founded. This proposal was seen by officials as an attempt to persuade the UK to lift sanctions against him. However, Fridman denied any quid pro quo offer to Ukraine. Following the invasion of Ukraine, Sense Bank allocated millions of its budget to support the armed forces of Ukraine and territorial defense units. As a result of his involvement in the changing circumstances, Fridman was also sanctioned by the UK government in 2022. In September 2023, the Office of Financial Sanctions Implementation at HM Treasury updated its sanctions notice, referring to Fridman as an involved person under the Russia regulations and modifying his former positions and associations while removing the phrase about his close association with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Mikhail Fridman has been associated with several controversies in Spain over the years. One of the earliest incidents occurred in November 2002 when the Liberian tanker Prestige, carrying 77,000 tons of Russian heavy oil belonging to Crown Resources, a company owned by Fridman's Alpha Group, sank off the coast of Galicia. The oil spill caused a major environmental disaster, with substantial damage estimated at €1.5 billion. Following this disaster, the Spanish press referred to Fridman as Dirty Michael. In the summer of 2016, Spanish entrepreneur Javier Perez Dalcet filed a complaint with the Spanish prosecutor's office, alleging that his Russian partners linked to Vimpelcom Limited had illegally seized the capital of their joint venture, leading to the bankruptcy of the parent company, ZED Corporation. El Confidential published articles accusing Fridman of orchestrating an illegal takeover that removed Javier Perez Dalcet from the business and caused significant financial harm. In January 2017, Peter Wackey, a Dutch attorney known as Fridman's right-hand man, was arrested at Madrid's Barajas airport on suspicion of business fraud. In October 2019, Fridman was summoned to Spain's National Court in Madrid for a pretrial hearing related to the Z case. The accusation was framed as actions that led to the insolvency of Z Worldwide, allegedly with the intention of acquiring it at a much lower price than its market value. The prosecutors likened Fridman's dealings to a raid, a tactic typically associated with the Russian mafia for an illegal takeover. Despite Fridman's legal representatives claiming that he had no direct involvement in the entities involved in Z's takeover, the prosecutors argued that Fridman concealed his control of criminal activities behind subordinates. However, on December 15, 2020, the Spanish National Court dismissed the case, citing a lack of reasonable grounds to accuse Fridman. Subsequently, in February 2021, the National High Court of Spain rejected appeals by Z Group in favor of Fridman, stating there was insufficient evidence to support Z Group's allegations. In mid-2017, Letter One, Fridman's investment company, acquired the Spanish supermarket chain DIA. After the acquisition, DIA's sales declined, profitability decreased, and share prices on the Madrid Stock Exchange fell. While some accused Fridman of market manipulation to devalue DIA's shares, the Spanish National Court dismissed the case in January 2021, attributing DIA's decline to mismanagement and a lack of investments in marketing. These controversies have marked Fridman's business dealings in Spain and have attracted significant attention in the media and the legal system. Mikhail Fridman currently holds several significant positions in the business and philanthropic sectors. He is a member of the board of directors of ABH Holdings, which is the Luxembourg-headquartered holding company for Alpha Banking Group. Additionally, he serves on the supervisory board of DEA Deutsche Erdöl AG, a position he has held since L1 Energy's acquisition of the company in 2015. Fridman is actively involved in various public-facing bodies and organizations. He is a member of the National Council on Corporate Governance in Russia and a board member of the Russian Union of Industrialists and Entrepreneurs. His participation in the Council for Entrepreneurship at the government of the Russian Federation began in February 2001. He was elected as a member of the Public Chamber of Russia in November 2005. Furthermore, since 2005, Fridman has represented Russia on the International Advisory Board of the Council on Foreign Relations, showcasing his commitment to business and policy-related initiatives. In addition to his business roles, Fridman is deeply engaged in philanthropic activities and initiatives. He played a pivotal role in founding the Russian Jewish Congress in 1996 and has remained an active member, holding positions such as vice president and head of the Cultural Committee. He is a significant donor to the European Jewish Fund, which focuses on promoting interreligious dialogue. One of his notable philanthropic ventures is the Genesis Philanthropy Group, which he co-founded in 2007 alongside other prominent figures. The group's mission is to develop and enhance Jewish identity among Russian-speaking Jews worldwide. The Genesis Prize, initiated by the group in 2012, is an annual $1 million prize recognizing Jewish contributions to humanity. Fridman has also been a major contributor to the Holocaust Memorial Project at Babi Yar in Kyiv, Ukraine, which was launched in 2016. This initiative underlines his commitment to preserving historical memory and acknowledging the impact of historical events. Furthermore, he has played a role in promoting cultural events and music festivals. In 2011, he established the Alpha Jazz Fest, an annual music festival funded by Alpha Bank, in Lviv, Ukraine, his place of birth. In 2014, he introduced the Alpha Future People Festival, an annual electronic music festival held on the banks of the Volga River in the Nizhny Novgorod region of Russia. These events showcase his support for cultural and artistic endeavors. Mikhail Fridman has been involved in various legal and public controversies over the years. Elite Dachas purchase, 2003 to 2006. In 2003, two elite dachas owned by the Russian government were sold at below-market prices, one to Fridman and another to former Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Kazyanov. These sales raised concerns, as they occurred without the mandatory media announcement of an auction. Allegations of a preferential loan from Fridman to Kazyanov also emerged. The Moscow Court of Arbitration ruled in early 2006 that the two houses should be returned to the state due to improper privatization procedures. Government officials responsible for the sale were charged with misappropriation of entrusted property. Libel suit, 2005. In 2005, Fridman and Pet Avon filed a libel suit against the Center for Public Integrity over an online article that suggested their involvement in drug running and organized crime. Avon and German Kahn filed a defamation lawsuit against BuzzFeed for publishing the unverified Steele dossier, which alleged financial ties and collusion between Putin, Trump, and the three bank owners. In October 2017, they also filed a libel suit against Fusion GPS and its founder Glenn Simpson for circulating the dossier among journalists. A libel suit was filed against Christopher Steele in April 2018, but it was dismissed with prejudice in August. Avon, Kahn, and Fridman then brought a lawsuit for defamation in Britain against Orbis Business Intelligence, Steele's firm, with the trial starting in March 2020. In July 2020, the British High Court of Justice ordered Orbis to pay damages to Fridman and Avon after Steele's claims were deemed demonstrably false. Alleged arrest in London, 2022 to 2023. On December 1, 2022, an unnamed 58-year-old man was arrested at his residence in London and later released on bail by officers from the Combating Kleptocracy Cell, established by the UK's National Crime Agency. Several media outlets alleged that the man was Mikhail Fridman, but Alpha Bank denied his involvement. The Russian embassy in London confirmed that Fridman had not requested consular assistance. In September 2023, the National Crime Agency closed the investigation and took no further action against Fridman based on the warrant executed at Athlone House in December 2022.